Hey, it's me. Today I'm gonna bring you my definitive, 100% correct Call of Duty tier list. I've been having so many technical difficulties when it comes to Modern Warfare and Cold War. I can't get any of the games to run for more than 1 to 2 matches without it crashing. So for the time being, I guess I'll just do this highly opinionated video. Now just remember, this is my tier list. This is my own personal experience with each game. You're most likely not going to exactly agree with what I'm saying, but that's the whole point of this video. Alright, so don't get mad, don't get angry. If your favorite Call of Duty is not where it should be, leave a comment. Tell me. Let me know how I did in the comment section below. Alright, let's just get to it then. Also, before I start, I've never played these Call of Duty games before, or I haven't played them enough to have a good basis on how to rank them. Also, this video is going to focus strictly on the multiplayer. Starting off with Call of Duty 4, and I'm going to put this one directly in A. This is my first Call of Duty game I ever played. It holds a very special place in my heart. Absolutely loved it growing up and playing it. I would play it almost every single day. I do understand that it's not a perfect game. And it had its issues. The M16 was busted. I know frag times 3 was overpowered. I'd like to call them Jesus grenades in that game because you could literally just haul it across the map and it was most likely guaranteed to kill. But what I just loved about this game so much, man, was just how simple it was. It just set the foundation for the franchise as a whole, and it really just revolutionized first-person shooters, man. And the multiplayer, I love so much. It was just so addictive. I absolutely love the maps in this game. Call of Duty 4 has some of my all-time favorite maps. Just so creative. Every single map just felt unique. This game makes me feel some type of way. I put so many hours into this game just because of the replayability of it. I remember every single prestige, I would go for all the gold guns out of my way to try to get everything Red Tiger. Because I was a kid, I had nothing else better to do, The game was just, it had a simple formula and it worked. I was addicted to this game and I miss it more and more every day. So I'm gonna put this game in A. Call of Duty World at War, I'm gonna put this game in B. For me personally, I found this game to be way too similar to COD 4 when it comes to its multiplayer. It borrowed so many of the same aspects that Call of Duty 4 already had, so I felt like I was just playing the exact same game, just in World War II, which isn't a bad thing because Call of Duty 4 was a good foundation. It was a great thing to base your game off of, obviously. The only problem that I had with World at War is just that the balancing was much worse. The hit detection was awful compared to COD 4. I don't know, it just felt a lot clunkier and heavier. This game more than made up for it with its map design. It has probably some of the most creative and unique map design in the franchise. Just so many unique maps in this game that I just absolutely love to death. It did almost the exact same things as COD 4. It didn't really do much to innovate the series that much, but it was still a fun game. I just found myself going back to COD 4. Alright, Modern Warfare 2, and you guys already know, Modern Warfare 2 is not only by far and away my favorite Call of Duty, but it's just one of my favorite video games just in general. Say what you want, say, oh, you're just blinded by nostalgia, the game didn't age great, blah, blah, blah. Listen, man, Modern Warfare 2 is still regarded as the best Call of Duty of all time to so many people for a reason. Some of it does have to do with nostalgia. I get that. A lot of these games have a lot to do with nostalgia because none of these games are perfect. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is the most replayable multiplayer in the franchise. The create a class system in this game is damn near perfect. It was simple and straightforward, but it worked to a T because everything in this game had a place. There was choice. There was actual thought process behind what you wanted on your class. All the weapons in this game had a spot. Every single gun had an identity, had a reason for being there, and had an advantage and a drawback. Now, granted, some of them were better than others. That's true, but that's the case for almost all the Call of Duties. That just happens. But the thing is, Modern Warfare 2's guns were so lethal that almost every single gun had a place. It made the gunplay very diverse. It made it very interesting. You could dominate with almost every single weapon in this game. I know I say this with one-man army and danger close existing, but for the most part, man, the perks were relatively well balanced in this game. There was so many different combinations that you could do in this game. If you wanted to go on high streaks and get your kill streaks, get your nukes, you could do like Scavenger and Cold-Blooded or Scavenger and Hardline. If you wanted to run around like a maniac, you can do Marathon Lightweight. If you wanted to tack knife, you can do Marathon Lightweight Commando. If you wanted to be a noob tubing bitch, you could do one-man army danger close. Or you could be like Chris Smoove and actually use one-man army as it was intended and switch between different classes. There was just so many different variables to things. It's the most diverse created class by far in the series. I know some of you will say Black Ops 2. I like the more simplistic approach to the created class. That's just me personally. And I haven't even talked about the maps yet. Modern Warfare 2 has by far and away the best maps in the series. That's just hands down. There's nothing that you could say to me to try to convince me otherwise. Modern Warfare 2's maps are just so iconic and they're just so well designed and they're so creative and so unique. Every single map in this game I have a significant memory on, just because of how much I played this game. Just so many different iconic maps in this game. High Rise, Terminal, Afghan, Estate, Favela, Invasion, Karachi, Quarry, Rundown. Just so many unique maps. And also, one of the most underrated DLC maps of all time, Bailout. Please, at least one person comment down below about Bailout. I love that map. And not to mention some other great maps in this game, like Wasteland, Subbase, Scrapyard. So many good maps in this game, man. It just made the gameplay experience so much better just because of how awesome the maps were. The one thing about Modern Warfare 2 that made it so good, just the sheer amount of things that you could do in this game. You had the 250 headshots for fall camo, challenges to unlock all the attachments. And on top of all that, you had all the mastery calling cards and emblems that you get for all the weapons in the game. On top of all the barracks challenges that you get for calling cards and emblems. The game was just so replayable. Just so many good memories on this game. Remember fondly with all my friends. Some of the times I had on this game was some of the best times of my childhood. Not only is it my all-time favorite Call of Duty, it's just one of my favorite games in general. Easy S tier for Modern Warfare 2. Now, some of y'all are gonna get mad at me, alright? But just take into account, this is my experience and my experience only. Black Ops 1. Gotta put this game in C tier, man. I just think this game is insanely overrated when it comes to the multiplayer. It shared the exact same issues World at War had. God-awful hit detection. Horrible weapon balancing. Just an overall clunkier game. This game was dominated by the ARs. Everything else sucked. Yeah, you had the 74U, but outside of the 74U and the ARs, the game was terribly balanced, man. This game had some of the worst SMGs I have ever seen in the Call of Duty game. All of them in this game are just so bad, and then the LMGs were just super clunky and kicked like crazy and didn't do enough damage. And God forbid you try and snipe someone in this game. You had your insane snipers, you know, quick scope with the L96, which I think is an overrated sniper. I don't like it at all. Most of the snipers in this game were terrible too. Dragunov was awful. The WA 2000 was awful. The PSG was alright, but nothing too crazy. And once again, I don't like the L96. It was fun to use the special weapons. It was fun to use the ballistic knife. It was fun to use the crossbow, but they were more gimmicky than they were, like, you know, actually viable. This game was not all bad, though. Now, I know I'm making it seem like I'm saying that, but this game was just not all bad. The wager matches in this game were fun as shit. You had the ante-up, which you could just dick around with your friends, and that was really fun. And then you had the high roller things, which are actually really competitive, because you actually were competing for something, and it made it intense, and it was fun. But here comes my biggest issue with this game, is the overall lack of any sort of progression whatsoever. Here's a hot take, okay? The COD point system in Black Ops 1 is fucking atrocious. And here's why. It eliminates any sort of replay value that you could have for this game. Take Modern Warfare 2, for example. Everything in that game was done on a challenge-based system. If you wanted to unlock something, you had to do a challenge to do it. It forced you to play in a different way, and it created new challenges for everything you wanted to do. If you wanted extended mags on your gun, you had to use FMJ and shoot through walls. If you wanted the holographic sight, you had to use the red dot sight. If you wanted a heartbeat sensor, you had to use the silencer. It made you do different challenges. On top of all that, you had the calling cards, which you do challenges for, the barracks challenges that you got calling cards and emblems for. You had the headshot challenges to get all your camos. Modern Warfare 2 was insanely replayable. When you go to Black Ops 1, what do you do in this game? You play a couple matches, you earn COD points, you buy the best gun in the game, and you buy the best attachment. Then you're done. No grind. There's nothing. You play matches and you get COD points. It's boring as shit. On top of all that, all the cosmetic stuff was tied to this fucking COD point system, and it was so fucking stupid. Oh, you wanted the camo? Drop some COD points. Oh, you wanted the reticle? Drop some COD points. You wanted the fucking calling card? Drop some COD points. It was so boring. It was such a boring design choice, and it really killed any sort of replay value for this game. Most of the arsenal in this game was not worth using, so why would I waste my COD points on it? The whole COD point system was just so flawed, and it was a unique idea, I'll give them that, but it was just so poorly executed. There's a good selection of maps in this game. Firing range, summit, grid, WMD, Radiation. I don't know, man. I don't think these maps were on par with COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2. And this game had some stinkers for maps, man. I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I'm not trying to piss you guys off. I'm not pretending to do this just to have a controversial opinion. This is just how I actually feel about the game. And if you like the game, that's fine. That's the thing, man. Everyone's experience is different. And if you enjoyed this game, that's fine. I understand what it was trying to do. I just didn't vibe with it. It's not a bad Call of Duty game, but I don't think it's deserving of one of the best Call of Duties of all time. That's just me. So, C tier. All right, Modern Warfare 3, directly into S tier, man. On the same level with Modern Warfare 2, I love so much about this game. It probably had my favorite thing that they did with the kill streaks and score in general. The point streak system was the best thing that they did. I get the benefits of score streaks, but I'll save that for when I get to Black Ops 2. It equally rewarded kills, assists, and playing the objective. It equally rewarded everything, and so everything that you did felt meaningful. It was so simple and straightforward, and it made the game really fun, and I think it made it really healthy. I love the strike package system in this game, and the fact that you could have different strike packages on each class and different kill streaks for each class, on top of the specialist bonus, which is by far and away one of my favorite things ever added into Call of Duty. I absolutely love the specialist bonus, and it was just really dynamic because you can create a lot of different classes built around different playstyles, and it was just really unique. Modern Warfare 3 does not get enough credit for how much it actually progressed Call of Duty. This is arguably the most innovative Call of Duty of all time. First Call of Duty to have objectives count towards streaks. Point streak system, like I mentioned. First game to have weapon leveling. The first game to kind of emphasize the arcade arena style map design. A lot of the maps were based around fast gunfights. This was the first game to have the monthly content drops with Call of Duty Elite. If you bought the season pass and had Call of Duty Elite, you would get a different DLC drop monthly. Face-off mode. This is the first game to have the face-off mode, which is the 2v2, the 3v3 modes on the smaller maps, specifically designed for the game mode. And it was a super fun and a nice change of pace from the regular multiplayer. And on top of all that, this was the first Call of Duty to have a specific emphasis on community-made modes. Who remembers the community modes in this game? The Infected mode, All or Nothing, Money in the Dank, and then they had the Modern Warfare Threesome, which was the fan-favorite maps with the fan-favorite game modes. This game was all about the community, and it just created this healthy environment. Weapon leveling system in this game, it was simplistic. It made grinding out gold guns simplistic but rewarding, because I remember going for weapon leveling in Modern Warfare 3. The best way to go from level 30 to 31, which was a treacherous journey that us OGs remember, you would have to do the different weapon challenges to get more weapon XP, which means you had to use some of the different attachments that you wouldn't use, like, you know, getting kills with the hammer scope, getting kills with the master key shotgun, getting grenade launcher kills, using the heartbeat sensor. Like, you would make you play different ways that were really fun. And another thing that this game did is, and Modern Warfare 3 just had some of the best maps in the series. Seatown, Dome, Arkaden, Bakara, Resistance, Bootleg, Carbon, Hard Hat, Lockdown, Village. Had some of the best DLC maps ever too, like Black Box, Oasis, Offshore, Parish, Overwatch, as well as Boardwalk, which takes place in my home state of New Jersey. Can't forget that. Just, there were so many unique maps in this game, and it was just so community focused. Just made the game so replayable, and it's one of my favorites of all time. And S tier is the most respectable it could possibly get. All right, Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 I'm also gonna put in the S tier. Arguably the peak of the Call of Duty franchise. And I don't deny, pick 10 system in this game was incredibly renovative and added a lot of different replay values to the game. Made the creative class a lot more interesting. The score streak system was a great change. Really made an emphasis on playing the objectives. However, I felt like the score streak system ruined the deathmatch modes. They didn't scale the score for the deathmatch modes. That's why I like the point streak system a lot better, but I won't deny that the score streak system was a fantastic change and really made an emphasis on playing the objectives. The big thing that puts Black Ops 2 below Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 for me were the map design. Black Ops 2's maps were very top heavy. Like, you know, you had your classics like Raid, Standoff, Hijacked. You had some really good ones like Express, Cargo, and Carrier. I don't know, man. I just felt like a lot of the maps in this game were just kind of average. Like, you know, they were just simple maps. Like, they weren't bad, but I wouldn't, you know, exactly call a lot of these maps, you know, great. The game was relatively well balanced. A lot of the guns in this game had a place for being there. The gunplay was was really smooth. I think this was the best Call of Duty for the competitive emphasis that Treyarch really likes to put in their games. Personally, I really don't care for competitive Call of Duty because I don't think Call of Duty is meant to be a competitive game. That's just how I've always played it. I've always viewed it as a casual game. If I had to choose one game to go competitive in, it would be Black Ops 2, man, because the League play system was awesome. Brought the casual fans more into the competitive play. Really emphasized the competitive players to push themselves further. Like, the league play in this game was fantastic, and I did spend a lot of time in league play trying to rank up and go through the ranks and competing. The game was a nice change of pace from the, you know, mostly casual experience. The next step up from Mastery Camos with the Diamond Camo, and it made the game really replayable and fun. This game did a lot of good things, obviously. It was arguably the peak of Call of Duty, and a lot of things happened in this game that I love, and nostalgia just hits me hard. I have a lot of good memories on the game, and it's definitely one of the best Call of Duties of all time. Honestly, I can't think of anywhere else to put it, to be honest, so S tier it is. Call of Duty Ghosts. I mean, if there was a tier in between B and C, I'd probably put it here. I'm gonna put it at the end of C tier. Ghosts was an interesting game. The game was just so weird and wacky and out there, and there was just so many weird things that they did with this game, but a little part of me kind of enjoyed the things that they did. Like, this game did a lot of unique things. The perk system in this game was wild. It looks really off-putting, and it was so weird, but there were so many different combos that you could do that I couldn't help but actually like the system. Kind of fucked with it. I thought it was really unique, and I thought it was really fun. One thing that I really enjoyed about Ghost, though, was the gunplay. This game's gunplay and hit detection, probably some of the smoothest in the franchise. And on top of that, a lot of the weapon selection was very diverse. A lot of the guns in this game were very usable and viable, had a reason for being there, which made the gunplay really diverse because you could use a lot of different sets of guns and attachments. The thing about this game that really ruined it was most of the maps were absolutely trash, and the change made it to the UAV, which was a basis of the game. But the maps that were good in this game were good. Warhawk was really good, Strike Zone was really good, Freight was good. I actually liked Whiteout. I thought Whiteout was pretty good. I know that's one of the maps that people think are trash, but I actually do like Whiteout a lot. Like, there were some good maps in this game. Obviously, I know there were so many bad base maps in this game, and I understand, and the game was really slow. The SATCOM was one of the dumbest decisions I have ever seen in a Call of Duty game. I just don't understand why you would make it so bad. The UAV is a basic staple. You need 2 of them to do that. And it made you completely reliant on your random teammates. And you know, Call of Duty, you can't be reliant on your random teammates. And it just made the game so much slower, and it just wasn't fun. And it made a lot of the matches just slogfest, which really sucks, but that was just the case. That was just how the game was designed, which really sucked. However, I think the game more than made up for the map design in the base game with the DLC maps. I think this game has some of the best DLC maps of all time. And also, I absolutely love the different dynamic map elements and the field upgrade. Like, you could shoot down the elevator and the bus on Chasm, close the gate and then break the gate on Stonehaven, blow up the gas station on Octane. There was just some interesting things that you could do within the map, and it was cool. I actually did like the idea. And there was like breachable areas that would blow open a door, and you could like create new pathways on the map. And then you had also on Octane that middle crate that had a care package in the middle that you could breach and like get a random kill streak. It was really cool. Like, it was a really cool, unique idea that I liked. And then my favorite thing about the multiplayer was the field upgrades. A map-specific kill streak through that field upgrade. So, like, for example, you could get the chem strike on Strike Zone and completely change the map after you nuke it. You had the satellite crash on Whiteout, and then they just went really off the wall with it, with some of the DLC maps. Like, you could be Mike Myers in Fog, or the Predator in, I think it was called Ruins, the map was. You can get the Blessing of Anubis on Pharaoh. If you, like, opened up that secret tomb, you, like, get all the perks in the game for a short amount of time. Get the fucking Beast from that map, Sub-Zero. You could get the AC-130 in the Favela remake. Like, there were some really cool elements to this game that made every map unique. And that's what I loved about the game so much. I'm kind of indifferent on the create a soldier system that this game had. You would do like 1 or 2 prestiges per soldier, and then you would create a new soldier. It was really weird, unwarranted change, honestly. I didn't really think like it added anything to the game. All in all, I like how unique it is. It's a unique game. It's out there. It's kind of flawed in its design, but I thought it was unique enough to play for a decent amount of time, so I feel like C's a good spot for it. Advanced Warfare, the first Exo COD. I'm gonna put this game in D. I just didn't really fuck with this game at all, to be perfectly honest. I don't have a lot of memory on this game, mainly because I didn't really play it all that often. I appreciated the try to do something new with the exo movement. I just found the exo movement to be really chaotic and all over the place, and I didn't really like that aspect. A lot of the map design in this game was kind of like not a lot of memorable maps. There were some decent maps in this game. That one map, Recovery, which was like 2 maps split into one, that was a really cool idea. I like Defender a lot because then you had the tsunami that came halfway through and changed up the map. Although that one DLC map, Perplex, which is like the 4-story thing with like the grapple hooks or whatever, that was a cool map. The worst thing about this game for me was the weapon balancing. BAL 27, ASM 1. That was it. Every match felt the same because everyone was using the same gun. On top of that, this was the first game to have the supply drops, which kind of plagued Call of Duty. You had the stat changing weapons in the supply drops, and it just made a really unhealthy environment where you had to spend loads of cash or play the game for an ungodly amount of hours to try and get all this stuff. Yeah, I don't have much to say, man. This game did some cool things, but it's definitely one of the lower tier CODs in my opinion. Black Ops 3. I'm gonna be honest, man. Kind of in the same boat with Black Ops 1. I just don't get the hype about this game's multiplayer. It did some decent things. I think it improved the movement system. I don't know. This game kind of just felt like a knockoff Titanfall to me, man. To be perfectly honest, the movement just wasn't that good. It just felt really heavy and clunky. The map design was really basic and straightforward. I felt like the map design didn't really complement the exo movement at all, to be perfectly honest. Like, you had a gimmick spot here and there. What was the point of adding the exo suits if you weren't gonna benefit it in any way with the maps? Like, there were some exceptions. Hunted was a great map for the exo suits, but outside of that, man, it was just boring, straightforward, left, middle, right. A lot of the gameplay just felt so redundant because a lot of the maps were designed the exact same way. The thing that this game did was it was the first game to introduce like the dark matter-esque camo, and dark matter in this game looked beautiful. That's one thing that this game did really well, and what Treyarch does really well in general. Their cosmetics are usually really nice to look at, and there was just a lot of good cosmetics in this game. The gunplay in this game is okay. I found it really straightforward. I just didn't really care about any of the arsenal in this game. Like, none of the guns really just stuck out to me. Like, all they really were just futuristic versions of modern guns. And yeah, that's cool, I guess, but I don't know, they didn't really do anything that really popped out and was like, wow. The one thing about this game, though, that I liked were the score streaks. The score streaks in this game are really powerful, and they were fun to get because they chained together and they stacked, so you could just constantly get streak after streak after streak in the same life, and that was really fun to do. And maybe I'm being a little too harsh. I'll move it up to B. The one thing that really ruined this game, though, were the supply drops. This game has the most egregious supply drop system in the Call of Duty franchise, and some of the scummiest business practices I've ever seen from a video game. Man, the fact that there are more DLC guns locked away in supply drops than there are base weapons included with the game is disgusting. And the fact that most of the DLC guns were better than the base guns, it was just such an unhealthy system that kind of ruined the multiplayer as the year went on for me. But all in all, it's a decent game, but I am not gonna put it with the best of Call of Duty, to be perfectly honest. I know there's a lot of people out there who put this in their top 3. Some say that's their favorite game, and I know a lot of new players came to the series with this game. That's perfectly okay. I totally understand the appeal with the game. It's just, it didn't hit for me. Infinite Warfare. This is gonna be a hot take. I actually really vibed with Infinite Warfare. I thought it's an actual decent game. A lot of people say it's a watered down Black Ops 3, but honestly, man, it's a similar game, but I just think Infinite Warfare took Black Ops 3 and just greatly improved on a lot of the gameplay aspects. Jetpack movement was much better. The gunplay was insanely better. The map design was much better. One thing that this game did really well was the weapon variety. This game's weapon variety was fucking nuts. Now, this is what you do when you have a game that takes place in the distant future with fictional weapons. They went off the wall with some of the weapons in this game. And a lot of the guns in this game followed that formula of being just really unique and different. And that's what I loved about it so much, because a lot of the weapons in this game were just completely unique. And it just made the gunplay that much better because there was just so much variety in it. And the thing about Infinite Warfare is that it completely improved upon the microtransaction system. Every single DLC gun that they added in this game, you could obtain for free. You either got it for free right off rip if you had the season pass, or you could do a small challenge to unlock it. It was a lot healthier system, and like you could get most of the powerful variants through playing the game. It's not a perfect Call of Duty game, but I like how unique it is, and I think it was an improvement over Black Ops 3, so above BO3 in the B tier, I think is a good spot for it. MWR, I'm just gonna put an A because it's pretty much the exact same game as COD 4. World War II, I'm gonna put World War II in the bottom of C tier, mainly because it's really a tale of two halves. If World War II came out in the state it's in now, it would probably be the top of B, but the fact that it came out in such a shitty state with a poor design, and if it was that game, by the way, it'd be F. Like, if it was still the game it was when it came out, it'd be F. Just letting you guys know. The game, when it first came out, was a total fucking dumpster fire. The division system was just so heavily flawed. It was so dumb. It was so poorly designed. Overhaul really changed all of that, and it made the game a lot healthier and the creative class system a lot more diverse. Hats off to Sledgehammer for realizing their mistake and actually improving on it. You know, albeit 6 months too late, but at least they actually did it, you know? One thing that I hate about World War II is the terrible maps. The maps in this game are just so boring, so mundane, so lackluster, so repetitive. Every single map is just left, middle, right, left, middle, right, left, middle, right, left, middle, right. It was so boring. Overall, it's a decent game. It did some unique things. I really like the war mode. That's what I spent most of my time in. I loved the war mode in that game. It was something new. That's the highlight of the game for me. Outside of that, the traditional multiplayer is, outside of Shipment 1944, not that good. It's an average game. Not bad, but I wouldn't put it with one of the best. Oh boy. Here we go. Black Ops 4. Dog shit. Absolute fucking atrocity. This game is fucking atrocious. This is the only Call of Duty game that I hate. Just so much went wrong with this game. I don't even know where to fucking begin. But first of all, it's not a Call of Duty game. I don't know what the hell it is. It's not a Call of Duty game. It's like a Kirkland brand Overwatch. It's like a Fisher-Price version of Rainbow Six Siege. Like, I don't know what the design intent was for this game, but it was just so heavily flawed and such a far cry of what Call of Duty actually is. The fact that they made the emphasis on this like highly competitive play with the specialist upgrades, it was so fucking stupid, man. Just so dumb. No brain activity whatsoever in this game. The increased health along with the manual healing was just such a dumb change. Just no. Like, a lot of this game's multiplayer was just so fucking terrible. And the map design was just so boring. Same thing as World War II. Just left, middle, right, left, middle, right, left, middle, right, left, middle. It was just so brain dead. I hate this game's multiplayer so much. I can't fucking stand it. And then, unique enough, they got rid of the campaign to add Blackout, which is a boring ass BR that didn't do anything. I'll give Blackout this. The map was decent. It looked nice. That's really all my positive. Because first of all, Black Ops 4's gunplay is atrocious, and its hit detection is terrible. So a lot of the times in Blackout, wildly inconsistent gunfights that were really connection-based, and it felt like you were getting all these ghost bullets, and it just, that shit cannot happen in a BR, especially with one with no respawn whatsoever. Also, Blackout has a terrible looting system. Awful looting system that comes with this bag that you have to like individually select every single little thing in the game. It was just so monotonous. You'd spend more time looting bodies than you would actually in gunfights or moving around the map. It was just such a terrible fucking looting system. On top of the fact that there was not enough players in the match. More than half the players in the lobby would die before first circle, and it was just a running simulator the entire time. I don't get the appeal of Blackout, to be honest. I thought Blackout was boring as shit. Overall, this game is just a total fucking failure. Alright, Call of Duty Mobile. I'm just gonna put this in C. Real quick, I play it here and there when I'm bored, like when I have 15 minutes to myself. It's just a free mobile game. It's better than some mobile games, but I don't really think it's anything too crazy. It's decent fun for like a couple minutes. Alright, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Once again, this is gonna be a controversial opinion, but I'm gonna put this game in A, above MWR. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, man. I love this game, and I think it's some of the most fun I've ever had on Call of Duty in a long ass time. Modern Warfare just reignited my love for the franchise, and it just did so many good things. I'll start with the negatives because there's obviously some things about this game I obviously don't like. I would rather have the traditional radar. I gotten used to the compass system. I understand how it works. I see where gunfire is coming from. I understand what people say they want a traditional radar because most average players just go and chase the red dots, and it does speed up the game like that. That's not really how you're supposed to use the radar, but that's how most average casual players do it. So it would definitely speed up the game. Ghost perk in this game is overpowered as shit. I don't know why Infinity Ward insists on making the ghost perk work at all times, even if you're not moving, if you're just sitting still in a dark corner. Also, I forgot to mention how fucking dog shit the spawns are. Can't believe I forgot to include that, but yeah, the spawns are awful. Worst spawns in Call of Duty history. Outside of that, man, I really like a lot of the things that this game did. For example, the gunsmith is the best innovation in Call of Duty history. Because what's Call of Duty? It's a shooter game. And what does the gunsmith benefit? The guns. That's what you're going to be doing most of the time in Call of Duty, shooting people with guns. And the fact that this game's gunplay is so good. Modern Warfare has the best gunplay in the series. By far. It's not even a competition. It's by far the best gunplay. When it comes to the feeling of the guns, how hard they hit, how every single gun just feels unique. Worlds better than any other Call of Duty. And the gunsmith system just heavily enhances that, because every single gun in this game has a unique attachment tree that are completely unique to the weapon. There's just so many different unique gameplay elements through the gunsmith, keep you playing vastly different ways. I know people are going to bring up the issue with the TTK, but I don't mind fast TTK. You know why? You know what other legendary Call of Duty games that everyone likes has fast TTKs? Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. All these games had relatively fast TTKs. And all it does is just make a lot of the guns much more viable in the meta, because every single gun is lethal and you could get relatively competitive with almost every single gun in the game. Every gun has a place, every gun has an identity, and all the gunsmith attachments really shore it up to play a role that you want. However, it also allows you to use the gun in a completely different way. For example, if you want to take the M4A1 and build it into a highly mobile hip-fire only SMG, you could do that. So many unique things in this game's gunplay that I just absolutely love. Also, really quick, I don't mind Dead Silence as a field upgrade. I actually think it benefits the creative class a lot more because Dead Silence is a crutch perk, and it was a crutch perk in mostly all the other Call of Duty games, and so it allows a lot more perk diversity in the third tier. And just in general, I like the creative class system in Modern Warfare because the perks are a little weak, but there's a lot of different combos that you can do with the perks. To be perfectly honest, Ghost, Overkill, and Restock are so overpowered that it's kind of a unique choice to choose whichever one that you want from that group. So that's why I like the creative class system, and I don't mind Dead Silence as a field upgrade. The map design. I know a lot of people say this is the worst maps in Call of Duty, and I couldn't disagree more, man. A lot of the maps in this game, very similar to the way that they were designed in the old school games, where most of them are very non-traditional, they're non-linear, and they have a lot of emphasis on flank routes and power positions and taking advantage of jump spots and map knowledge. It was so unique. Every map in this game has a unique element that makes it unique to that map, and it makes the gameplay that much more interesting. So many different unique elements to this game, and my favorite thing about this game is just that the heavy emphasis on the parkour of every map. I kind of want to do this as like a mini series on my channel, but I kind of wanted to do things with like parkour in maps where I just go and do different parkour in private match. Let me know if you want to see something like that, because I totally do that. Like, it just really reminded me of the old school Call of Duties. And you could tell the people who designed the COD 4 Modern Warfare 2 maps did the maps for this game, and it really shows with the way that they were designed. Engine and the mechanics, the animations in this game, the textures, the graphics, just beautiful, and everything just looks so sleek and realistic and just visceral. It makes the game so much more replayable just because of how in the moment you feel when you're playing the game. Just love all the mechanics in this game. There's so many different things that you could do that really increase the skill gap with the movement, with the slide canceling and the momentum bunny hop. Everything just feels so smooth in this game, and Infinity Ward just knocked it out of the park when it came to gunplay and mechanics. Really off the wall with how good it actually is. And on top of all that, man, I don't mind the doors and the mounting. I mean, yeah, you could close the door and you could sit behind it with a shotgun and a claymore, whatever the fuck. I kind of like the idea idea where like you could like blow doors off the hinges or whatever and just open them up permanently. If they did that change, that would have been really cool. I don't mind mounting as a feature, man, because yeah, once again, you could abuse it. You could sit in one tiny little room and mount up and watching one doorway. You could really use the mounting to your advantage. You could like slide into a piece of cover and mount up and get a more accurate shot on someone pushing you, or you could mount up at really long range and beam someone. It feels nice. It feels really good, and it makes the map more interactive. I don't know why people are just so hesitant to change Call of Duty and make the gameplay different. That's a big reason why I like this game so much, man. It's just how much it just really pushes the envelope and tries to change up the gameplay. On top of all that, man, there's just so much to do in this game now. You have the weapon mastery challenges, you have the Damascus camo, you have the Obsidian camo, you have the barracks challenges for different rewards and cosmetics, you have gunfight, you have ground war, you have face-off, you have party games in the quick play section. Like there's so much to do in this game. I think it's the best Call of Duty that's come out in a very long time. I have it in my personal top 5. I think it's a top 5 Call of Duty game, and I have a feeling I'm going to be playing it for years. So A tier, easy A tier for me. Warzone. I'm gonna put Warzone in B for now. Definitely one of the better battle royales that I've played. However, I'm just not that big on BR. I'm more of a fan of traditional respawn multiplayer. I do like a lot of things that Warzone does. Like if you watch Technically Wild's video on Warzone, he does make a great point where like a lot of the contracts in this game kind of emulates different game modes in the multiplayer. And then you have the loadout system, which I think eliminates a lot of the RNG that people don't like about BRs. And there's a lot of good things about Warzone. It's just the whole BR genre in general for me that I really don't like. And then last, we have Cold War. For right now, I'm just gonna put it at the top of D. It's okay, man. Like it's just, I don't have a lot to say. The score streak system is absolutely atrocious. It rewards camping for high streaks over actually playing the objective. The map design is just so safe and so basic. All the maps are just so repetitive and they're just clones of each other. No flinch thing is a terrible design choice. Eliminates a lot of like the unique gunplay because you have to like use these specific guns to do well. Gunsmith in this game is a complete fucking joke. Every single gun in the game has the exact same attachment tree, and it just does all these nonsensical things that just feel forced to have a bunch of attachments in this game. Like, there's really no point to the gunsmith being in this game. I don't know, man. It's just so mundane in general. The game is just so blah. Like, there's just nothing about this game that just says, yes, you should play me for this reason. There's no point to this game existing. The only reason this game exists is so they can put more guns into Warzone. It's not a bad game by any means, but it's just so boring and so forgettable and so bland that I really can't think of anything higher than D for this game. And there you have it. There's my tier list for all the Call of Duty games. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's some controversial opinions here and there. Leave a like on the video if you want to see more tier list videos in the future, because they're really fun to do and they create discussion in the comment section, which is what I ultimately want. And if you're new around here, subscribe. And if you're into that kind of thing, this channel's for you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Take care. See ya.